All right, we're recording. We got a bunch of rain last night, and yeah, it's good because I've been praying for mild weather so I can get this thing finished. So yeah, blessing today. Mama's over here waiting for me in the canoe. Check out the water. The water line is so low. It's like an artificial low tide that they create with the locks in the wintertime. So Mama's, usually the water line's like way up here. Like, yeah, right about here. And look at this, like 20 feet out. Mama's all ready. Look at you, shaking, excited. She knows what's up. All right, now I gotta try to do this and not spill my coffee. All right, Mama, here we go. All right, here we go. Anyway, I wish there was a way to pause and then start the video over again, because I can't really paddle one-handed. I could hold it between my legs, maybe. I could hold the phone between my legs. Is this gonna work? Oh yeah, look at that, Mama. Because we are resourceful. And we are creative. Look at all these zebra mussels over here. These little bastards. Look at them. Look at these things. They will just tear up your feet like they're razor sharp, and they're all over the ladder. You know, just all over the ladder. Look at that. I guess I'm not doing a good job letting you guys see what I'm doing, but look at that. There are some benefits to them, because I believe that there are some benefits, but man, I don't know. The lake didn't need them. When I was young, this lake was just like pristine. This is Cougar Lake. For those of you that are not familiar with my channel or me, my name is Meshariel Ishai Elisha. I am of the order of the Nazyr, which means it's like the untrimmed tree. And it's a vow. Many people who are somewhat familiar with Hebraic history or the Bible, they know of the man that was famous for his strength and his long hair. His name was Shamashun, or commonly known as Samson. Look at this she's so fearless. And she's twitching like crazy. I don't know if you guys can see it, but she's twitching, just shaking. She's just so amped up because we love this. Look at this beauty. Oh, that loon. This is my love language. Oh, listen. All the ducks. And also we woke up to some eagles chirping out back because they're nesting right behind the cottage now. Right over there, right up in that tree, right up there. Look at this, guys. Look at this incredible beauty. So I'm like kind of not stressed out, but I'm really trying to focus on getting the camper trailer built so I can haul my stuff out of New York and get back to California. I've been waiting, still no word from the Supreme Court on the matter between me and my stepmother. And my father's estate. But basically, I've been held here for over a year now as a hostage, economically and circumstantially. But man, yeah, we had to get out here today because the water is just still, and this is such a blessing. I don't even need my jacket right now. It's I think what is today, November 24th, day before the national holiday called Thanksgiving. Every day is a day of Thanksgiving. So I think this is working out. I'm holding this with my knees. It's all right. I'm managing. It's not like my natural paddling position, but it's working. And I'm still recording. Just wanted to share this beauty with you guys. It's so incredible. And this little mama up here, that's what I call her, little mama. She's she's just such a good little girl. Look at her, just fearless up there in the bow of this canoe. And when it's wavy, when we're out here in like 2.5 foot waves sometimes, and the front of the boat is just bouncing over the waves, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know if you call that bounce. It's almost more like a slam. She stands right up there on that thing, fearless. I got so much respect for this little dog. She's a good girl. And she's fallen in a bunch of times. I just try to keep her calm. I talk to her, kind of paddle over, grab her by the back of the neck and scoop her right up in the canoe, and she goes right back up to the bow. Incredible. You hear the ducks. So we're paddling up to the reserve. There's a reserve. This beautiful man donated a bunch of his wife. It was his wife's family's land, and she passed away. And then Barry decided to create a reserve. So he built himself a house over here by the water, and then he donated the rest of it as a reserve. And it's been a beautiful sanctuary for us. We've been walking it almost every day, but recently with hunting season and the weather and the ticks being so bad, we've been not doing that. So today's really a special day for both of us, especially for Mama, because she just loves it. A lot of times though, she'll run off in the woods when I'm walking, and then I get a little annoyed when she doesn't come when I call her. So that's only happened a few times. She's generally pretty good about coming when I call her. So for those of you that are not familiar with my channel, my father passed away last August. Definitely like the toughest relationship in my life. And I fought for it. I loved hard for it. And I just couldn't seem to break through to him. But I love him. And I believe that I made peace with him before he left us. And you know, it's because of him that I'm a water man. My mom, I'm a man of fire because of my mom, who dedicated me to the Great Spirit, the Almighty One in her womb before I was even born. She dedicated me to the fire when I was still in the water of her womb. And my dad got me in this water. He was an amazing athlete, amazing singer. He was just super talented. He was an athlete. He was handsome. He had a gift for music. He had a great voice. He could play the guitar. Very mechanically inclined. And his love for the water, he gave it to me when I was little. Taught me how to swim, probably before I could really walk well. And my dad was a trick skier, a water skier, which is kind of like, when in his point in time, that was like the extreme sport, right, of his era. My dad died when he was 79, and so he was a slalom skier, a barefoot skier, a trick skier. I mean, my dad, if it was on water behind a powerboat, he could do it. He didn't sail a lot. I mean, he was a capable sailor, but his love was really more for water skiing. His dad, my grandfather, was a big fisherman. And he would take my dad out in the boat for hours, and my dad would just kind of sit there with him and hated it. So my dad was never into fishing, but water skiing. And then he gave me that time in the water, so I really grew up in the water almost every year of my life. But for the couple years that I was in California, like 3 years in a row that I was in California without coming home, I spent time on this lake. You know, this lake is like, other than my mother, This lake is a form of my mother. She's like been part of my life every year, and it's been hard being on the West Coast because this lake is a part of my soul. It's the last place I had a meal with my dad. It's the last place I had a meal with my son and my dad together. It was right back where I was building that trailer. And so it's like, it's part of me. It's definitely part of me. And sharing it with the world. It's just a gift that I can offer, and I don't even know how many people will see it or appreciate it. I hope someday my children will want to see and know more of my life, and maybe they'll see it and they'll know their dad loved them and missed them every day that they were gone, and that love never changed like one bit for them. But my dad, I grew up in what was called like a Judeo-Christian family. And, we were a pretty wholesome family. My parents didn't drink or smoke. And we didn't have really any secular music in the house other than like Herb Alpert, And when I went to school, I used to have to go to school with a note that I wouldn't, take showers in public with the rest of the boys. Privacy and modesty was a virtue. I never saw my dad naked my whole life. And that comes from the traditions of our fathers, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, the Israel. 3 generations for a convert to be fully integrated into the 12 tribes. And in the same manner, it took 3 generations for Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov to receive the name Yisrael, which means to do Yah's straightness. A lot of people think it means to wrestle with Elohim or wrestle with Yah, but no. The part of that straightness, it can be wrestling with him, but Yaakov's hip was touched and he walked with a straight leg after he wrestled with the angel and received his name. All right, coffee only spilled a little bit, so that was a successful landing. Oop, I got the finger over the camera, but I don't know if you guys got to see Mama disembark, but I think I'm going to take my coat off, to be honest with you. That's how warm it is. I'm going to take my coat off. Mama. Take my coat off, leave it here in the boat. I think I'm going to be just fine. If I can get out without tipping over. Nice, we got it. All right, so you can see this is all, the water line usually comes up to where you can see these leaves. So it's out a lot. She's probably gonna run off on me. She's so excited to be here. I'm gonna go the opposite way because, come on, Mama. I think it's gonna be easier to come down that hill after the rain and the mud. I like to go the other way for the view. I like coming down the long trail, looking at the lake instead of looking up towards the end of the tree line and the highway, which you can't see the highway, but let's go. Here she comes. Good girl. That's right, Mama, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Come on, this way. This way. She's so stoked. It makes me happy to see her happy. Oh. I didn't really have a plan to talk, but I just wanted to share some of this beauty because it's just so incredible and rich. And when my heart has been heavy and broken, feeling shattered, this has been like ointment to my heart and my soul. And it's also a place where I come to connect within and without. Native Americans call him the Great Spirit. Some call him Father. In Hebrew, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahuwah Savoth, Yahuwah of hosts. And his name, when we say his name, our mouth doesn't close. It's like the breath. Yahuwah, there's just breath from the lungs. It might actually, I have a theory that it actually could possibly be Yahweh, and literally capture like all of the, what we would call the base vowels. But that's another story. I know that in, I think modern Hebrew, they say Yahovah, which is very close. It's just that they pronounce the woe as a oo or a beef. Excuse me, not a beef. They do say it as a beef, but as a V, because the B has a b, v, b, v. The b sound is when it's a prefix. And then the v sound is softer when it's not at the boundary or the front of the word. And that's a structure that I believe is incorporated into the Hebrew. So that as we speak quickly, I hear myself speaking word for word, but if to somebody that's not a native English speaker, my words are running together. And I don't perceive that. My ear doesn't hear it. But when I hear other people speak their language, I hear, their words run together. And boundaries are an important concept in the life of a Hebrew and Hebraic living, because boundaries have a double purpose, just like everything in life is a two-sided coin. But boundaries have, there's really no negative to them, in the sense that they protect, right? They keep out, so they protect from that which would invade from the outside, and they can also hold what is valuable to keep it from wandering and being lost. Like if you think about sheep, right? If you put sheep in a pen, they don't go wandering and get lost. Or children, not that you want to put children in a pen, but they do have playpens. Fence, fenced yard. We're getting close by the road, so you can see the truck go by. But otherwise, it's very peaceful here. So boundaries, are so important. And I think one of the things that's on my mind right now, one of the things, the season of learning that I'm in right now is, it is about boundaries, but it's also about healthy, framework. Our communication needs healthy framework. So many times, I recently have had some matters of heart. I was recently engaged, and I don't know what's happening now. I don't think we're engaged at this point. But it's interesting, right? Our concept of language. I was talking about this with a brother from Nigeria last night, because he talked to this woman that obviously I recognized, deeply enough to ask her to commit to a courtship and ultimately marriage, to the extent of being a partner in life, a queen, a lover, a friend, a mother. And I made a remark to her one day affectionately, and I said something about her being a monkey. And it really didn't go well with her. She was kind of taken aback by it. Oh, look at this water, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? She was taken aback by it. Mama, no, back. Come. Mama, no. Come here. Touch. No. Touch. All right. This is not good. She's not. Good choice. You get back from the road. Good choice. Come. So she heard me refer to Lil'mama one day as a monkey. And she was like, I don't want you to call me, a nickname that you call your dog. I don't know if that was all that there was to it, because she told my brother in Nigeria, that I had called her names and demeaned her and called her a monkey. And, she is Indian. So I know in India, I know they have jungles, so maybe that's a derogatory thing in India. I know if you call an African, because my brother is Nigerian, and he was saying if you call someone an ape or a monkey in Africa, that's really offensive. And I said, yeah, I totally understand that, man, and I would never, use that in a demeaning way. To this moss. I would never use that in a demeaning way. It was only in an affectionate way, like a playful, affectionate way. And I was explaining to him that my dog, is like kind of the only family I have in my life right now. She's like a little child to me. And when I'm loving on her and I'm, playing around and I talk to her with my baby voice, my Mrs. Doubtfire voice that comes out. Hello, what you doing, mama? And I'm like, you're not a dog, you're a monkey. You're not a dog, you're a monkey. I talk to her like that, baby talk. But it's all affection. It's not demeaning. And yet, so, right, I have to be able to adjust. I have to be flexible to realize that my language of affection may not be language of affection to somebody else. And so we have to have common ground and be willing to adjust and be flexible. And that's been kind of, at first it's kind of stings when someone, like, you say something as a term of endearment and they get offended by it. It feels like a personal rejection because it feels like they're denying, who you are, and they're getting upset about a word that you used, but it seems like they're overlooking the meaning, the heart behind that word. At least that's my experience. And then that feels like a disconnect. And then for me, the disconnect is like scary because it's like, now I feel far from you and I just want to be close to you. That's to me, like, I just want to be so close with my person. I want them to be close to me, It's like, I literally want to be one with them. I want to be like up in their grill and I want them to be up in my grill and I want them to be like all clingy on me and want to be around me and I want to be around them. And that's the kind of lover I am. And, not with, it doesn't mean somebody doesn't have their space, like people need space. And actually within the Torah, there is space every month between a man and a woman when she menstruates. Because I think it's symbolic. It's symbolic in the sense that when the egg of a woman is unfertilized and it comes out of her body, it's like this picture. It's like the anti-womb in some sense, because the womb is meant to bring forth life. And so when this egg is not fertilized and it comes out as blood, this form of death, we don't mix the seed of life. We're not to, have relations with her during that time. And we're even told to separate ourselves. And that's like really, a lot of women really, that is really kind of repulsive to them, this idea. And they're like, well, that makes me feel dirty, like I have to be separated from you when I have my moon, and it's like, yeah, but I also have to be separated from you. It's hard for me too. It's not like you're not the only one that's experiencing that separation. I am as well. Like I don't want to be in a different bed. I'm going to switch this around. I don't know, you guys want to probably see the woods, not me. But sometimes I feel like it's good to be able to see someone's face and understand like where they're coming from, hear their voice. Although I don't know, I haven't really checked myself in the mirror. I don't know if I'm even presentable this morning. So that separation, that physical separation, and I'm being very careful. I want you guys to pay attention to that word, the physical separation during that time of the moon cycle, is interesting because on a deeper spiritual level, I see it. I'm going to switch hands here. You can see my scar side on my face. Just giving my left hand a break. Okay, so it's a physical separation for a time. Some women have a fairly long cycle, but anyway, here's how I see it, like with the spiritual eyes that I have now that are forming. While my physical eyes have grown dim, my spiritual eyes have grown bright. I'm thankful for that. And what I see with my spiritual eyes about the separation, let me just call the dog. Mama! So this physical separation, how does that serve us outside of the symbol or the picture that it represents of separating what's meant for life and what's... Well, I thought it was going to be safer coming down this hill, but I still have my coffee in my hand. It dumped out half of it, but that was quite a fall. Free entertainment, guys. These old Vans aren't the best choice of footwear. All right, this physical separation, what does it do? Well, I think it can serve the relationship because it's very easy, I think, for men and women to depend on the physical connection for the sense of closeness and healing. I gotta stop on this bridge for 1 second. All right, hope I don't have that in my beard. Just took a big hit. Whoa! You almost took Did you guys hear her like, ah! She came down that hill and a little harder than she thought. Well, good girl. Good girl, mama. This physical separation puts us in a position to have our connection and our intimacy as a man and a woman, and from the mind and the heart. And we're setting the body apart for a time, for a period. And I think that this allows us to have a time where our connecting is more through our communication, looking into each other's eyes, hearing and being heard, receiving and acknowledging each other. It's almost like this period of a night and the day, when you take a break from the sunshine and the warmth and all that goodness and you miss it, but the rest is so important for the body as well. And so you have this kind of break, this physical cycle of rest between our bodies. And I think that if we look at this with an open heart, if we look at it for how it can be a blessing and not a curse, then that's when it can be fruitful. That's when it can serve us, right? It's our perspective, it's our attitude, it's our spirit, how we perceive, how we look at the coin. Do we look at the head or do we look at the tail? What is our focus? And so I see that time during the woman's Nida as time for a different kind of union. And then it kind of presents this beautiful opportunity for this convergence again, right? This union to happen again. Almost like when the sun rises and we see it crest. And we know that the light and the warmth is coming back. Bug on me. And so I see that as a blessing. Even though it causes us to give up some of the creature comforts, even the emotional and spiritual comforts that we find through touch and physical union, it kind of forces us to build a deeper connection, a more robust, a more diverse connection that we're nurturing and developing intimacy, in the spirit as well as the physical. I try to, as a principle, remember that there's always this concept of the physical and the spiritual, and they're meant to be in union and harmony and oneness. But sometimes concepts are meant for us in the physical world, and they reflect the spiritual principle. And sometimes, everything physical has a spiritual reflection. And I would say every spiritual reflection has a physical implication or context or aspect. Am I still recording? Yeah. cool. 29 minutes. You guys got to see me in the canoe. Got to see me wipe out and keep my coffee in my hand and my phone. I think that's pretty talented. I think that probably stems from all the judo falls and jiu-jitsu falls I took, which I also think it contributed to me possibly not killing myself when I fell off the roof back in like, what year was that? Like 2018? Yeah, spring 2018. I fell off a 3-story building on the backside, fell 2 stories, landed on grass instead of concrete. It's pretty wild. So anyway, I think I kind of covered that. I'm not even sure how I got into that conversation, but it happened. Hope it's meaningful if you're watching this. But I feel like what's really on my mind and heart is love. Love is so good. It's so good. And it has to happen first, like really, to really experience love, we need to taste it. We need to experience it. And usually, I was going to say it has to come from within, but really, it doesn't come like that. It doesn't start like that. Usually we taste it, or somebody else touches our life. Like a mother loving their child, or a father loving their child, right? We learn love, like we experience it. And then when we experience it, if we were fortunate to experience it, then we long for it, we want it, and we need to learn how to be it. And a lot of people think that love is like this emotion or a feeling. But I would say no, it's not. Love is a choice. Love is a commitment. It's a way of being. It's a dedication. It's a song. It's a dance. You know, most of my life, I heard the word universe, and I never even knew what it really meant. And as I understand it, uni is one, right? And clearly the universe is encompassing lots of different parts. And then this word verse in Latin, as I understand it, is rhythm. So, or can mean rhythm. So as I understand universe, as I'm saying this, I think it also reflects like one word, like one tongue, a verse, like a lyrical verse, right? But this idea of one rhythm, you know, and right now as I'm speaking, I see like Native Americans around a fire with drums and chanting, you know, this rhythm. And when they do that, they're building this experience together. I get emotional. I'm like emotional talking about it, right? I don't know why, but I get emotional like on some of this stuff. Well, I know why, because it touches my soul. So you're all around, you're dancing, drums, chants, movements, and it reflects this one rhythm. It reflects like how something that's apart from us can be one with us, like how we can have this experience of echad in Hebrew, elaf, chith, daleth, of being as one. And it's this beautiful picture of how all of this, you know, like, look it around, man. Every single one of these leaves and plants and the different bugs and animals that are here, they're all uniquely individual, but you could say that they're part of this one thing called this forest, or this woods, or these woods, or this nature, right? This habitat, which is a singularity that encompasses so much diversity. Look at this path with the water glistening on the, I don't know if you guys can see the water drops on the branches, but I do. It's like, it looks like little icicles. It's so pretty. So for me, this love, it's what my fire, you know, burns for love, for truth, for equity or justice, righteousness, like lawfulness, then the high order law, you know, like the natural law, that which is for life, not against life, but for life. That's the spiritual law, that which promotes, protects, establishes and sustains life. Like that's the high law. That's Torah. That's Thura. You know, that's the instructions of Yah. And that word Yah is a hand and in a prefix. It means to do. And then the Hey is what? The Hey is this window, this revelation, this manifestation. So Yah in its short form means like to manifest, to be the agent of manifestation. And when you take that first letter Yud, the hand, and you add it to the word fire, which is Elaf Shin, Aish, it becomes Aish. Aish. The modern Hebrew just says Ish. They drop the Elaf. But Ish is actually like my last name, or my middle name. It's Ishai, which is Yud, Shin, Yud. Ishai. It's David's grandfather's name, commonly called Jesse. So that's Ish is Yud, Shin. Aish is fire plus a Yud, which is man. And then if you take that second letter, the Hey, and you add it to fire, Aisha, it becomes woman. So how amazing is this picture of a fire? You know, you take a fire, right? And you have, like, let's say you have a branch and it's on fire. You take that fire and you divide it. And you take another branch and you put it in that fire and then you pull it apart. So that fire now becomes two. In that happening, there's a revelation of the fire itself. And then there's this action of dividing it, of creating these two parts. But ultimately they came from one source. And this is man and woman. In Hebrew, is fire plus Yah. You could say that Yah equals man plus woman minus fire. Or you could say that Yah plus fire equals man plus woman. And it's this incredible picture that's encoded within the language of our relationship as two parts that are divided to become one. When Adam was created, it says that Adam was made him, male and female, in the image of Elohim. That means that Elohim encompasses this masculine concept of headship, but incorporates both feminine and masculine aspects. And we see this in the beginning with the spirit hovering over the waters. The spirit represents like air, which really is fire, is like superheated air that combusts, as I understand it. And then these waters, which are still or can be wavy if they have forces applied to them. But these waters, right, if you're hovering over these waters, you see and they're still, you see a perfect reflection of whatever's over it. And that's this amazing concept of masculine and feminine, and this picture of the ruach and the waters, which is, I would say, it's truth and wisdom combined. Because a truth apart from wisdom is just a dangerous sword. But truth with wisdom is crowned in love, and it becomes life. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up and do one more loop. But I just wanted to share some of this beauty with you guys. Share a little bit of my thoughts, a little bit of my heart, my mind, my soul. Make sure I don't fall down, wipe out again here. So I'll wait until the bottom of the hill, see if I can make it through without wiping out again. And I hate wasting my coffee because I'm almost out of water. I guess I can boil some from the lake, but I can make another coffee. I'm not going to let it steal my joy. Thankful I wiped out and didn't hurt myself. Could have cracked my noggin or worse. I will sing you a new song. I will sing you a new song. Oh my King, to you I sing. I will sing you a new song. I will sing you a new song. Oh my King, to you I sing. I will sing you a new song. I will sing you a new song. Oh my King, to you I sing. I will sing you this new song. I will sing you a new song. Oh my King, to you I'll sing. I will sing you a new song. I will sing you a new song. I will sing to you, I'll sing. So I sing and I sing to you, oh my King. To you, oh my King, I do sing. Maximum love, maximum respect, always with 2 L's.